Hello and welcome to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel. I am Jessica, the knitter and designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits. And in this video, I am going to talk about my Love Yourself Shawl design. This is a pattern that I released around Valentine's Day. And so I wanted to incorporate this heart motif, which I love hearts as well. And the whole concept behind this shawl, so the Love Yourself Shawl is all about loving yourself. I'm presenting this shawl with a message to encourage you to show yourself some self-care, some love, and to just tell yourself that you matter, because you do. And even when you have difficult days, like, you're doing well, it's okay. Along those lines, I chose to donate a portion of the proceeds from this pattern to an the United States located organization that provides resources for people who are struggling with depression and anxiety. So if it's something that would interest you, I have that blog. I have their website posted in the description box down below, and they have blog resources, and they also have resources to connect you with a therapist or a counselor or specialist close to you that could help you with your mental health struggles. So I find that mental health is a very important aspect of self-care and self-love, and something that I'm very passionate about and definitely want to bring more awareness to. Of course, the heart motifs within the pattern, they represent that concept of love, but they also, the yarn that I used, it's a 10% cashmere, so that 10% cashmere to me just represented doing something special for me. So I want you to go out and do something special for you, whether that's purchasing a pattern, whether that's buying special kind of yarn, whether that's taking yourself out for dinner, whether that's just giving yourself some time to breathe and relax. I want you to do something special for yourself, to show yourself that you love yourself. So this pattern, the motif, like I mentioned, is a heart motif. It's just repeated throughout the whole pattern. So for the whole width and length, it's hearts. And I'm going to guess that creating these hearts is actually simpler than you think it is. It's primarily created using knit to do together and yarn over techniques. And I think as long as you're confident with knitting in general, just using the knit stitch, working back and forth, that if you're adventurous, you certainly could give this shawl a try. There will be new techniques that you will learn, but I have tutorials linked in each of my patterns that will walk you through step by step on these techniques so that you can be confident that you know what you're doing. The most complicated part of this shawl is definitely the edging. It's a picot edge bind off, and I think that really adds a touch of elegance and beauty to the shawl. So I also of course have a tutorial linked for that technique, and if as an adventurous beginner you decide that it's just too complicated, then you can just bind off as you would normally bind off a project. So this shawl, I have designed a 1 skein version and a 2 skein version. I believe the 1 skein version ends about here, so that 2 skein adds a bit more depth to it, and of course width. And so what I did, I don't actually have the 1 skein sample because I knit the 1 skein and then I added the 2nd skein after I took pictures and everything. So to purchase the pattern, you can purchase the pattern as a downloadable PDF from Ravelry, Payhip, or LoveCrafts, and all of those links will be down below. And the pattern comes with both written instructions and charted instructions. So I recently just added charted instructions to all of my patterns, and I think you'll find that very helpful, especially like in a pattern like this, where it's just a simple instruction that's being repeated over and over throughout the entire pattern. So it's basically just this heart motif, like I mentioned, that's being repeated. So when you download the PDF, it will have both the written and the charted instructions in that PDF. The yarn that I used for this pattern is Marinated Yarns HT Scrumptious in the Rose Quartz colorway. And like I mentioned, it's a 10% cashmere, so it's a very beautiful, luxurious kind of yarn. But I also have, I have a blog post all about yarn for the pattern. So in the first part of the blog post, I have color recommendations for other colors from Marinated Yarns that I think would look beautiful in this shawl. And then if you keep scrolling the second half of that blog post, I talk about alternative yarn suggestions. So these are other yarn brands that I think will also look beautiful in the shawl. These are yarns that might be more affordable for you or even more available to you in your location. So I'll link that blog post down below. You can find it in the description box. And I will also link the other blog post that I have about this design, which is all about the design inspiration, what the stitches mean and the whole meaning behind the shawl, why it's Love Yourself. And that's kind of what I talked about at the beginning of the video, but if you're interested in more information, that blog post is there for you as well. So I apologize if this video seems very choppy. My camera didn't record my first time around and now it keeps cutting me off, so I don't remember what all I've said. But the pattern is available on Ravelry, Payhip, and LoveCrafts. All of those links will be down below. I have 2 blog posts about the pattern, the design inspiration, and the yarn suggestions. Those blog posts are down below. And I hope that this video helped you understand more what the Love Yourself shawl is about and what kind of techniques it requires to knit it. I hope that you found the video helpful, informative, and just interesting in general. If you liked this video, you can hit the thumbs up and you can subscribe to the Snickerdoodle Knits YouTube channel for knitting content. I have my knitting tutorials that I link in my patterns, and then I also have design overview videos just like this one for each of my pattern designs. I hope to see you around. Happy knitting!